This is Tyler with Analytive, and today we are going to talk about the illusion of precision on the Analytive podcast. Hey, this is Tyler with Analytive, and today I'm super excited to talk about this topic. It's one that's been on my mind a lot lately that I wish all of my customers within our business were really beginning to implement it. I wish everybody really understood this concept, and that's this idea of the illusion of precision. So if you follow Analytive at all, if you follow the work that I do or the work that our team does, you know we talk a whole lot about analytics. We talk about how to make analytics more effective, how to make sure your marketing dollars are actually being spent wisely. And that's all important, right? There's a lot that we can learn from data and a lot that we can learn from analytics. But by definition, data and analytics seeks precision. Right. It wants to seek exactly what's changed. Right. We have, a 0.3% increase in traffic or maybe a 0.5% decrease. We have exactly 134 downloads. The bounce rate, is 25.4% up from 25.2% last week. And there's this temptation because we have these numbers and we can take them out to basically as many decimal points as we want. There's a temptation here to be ultra precise. Right. And to really focus on precision. But here's the thing. We're not building rocket ships. We're not engineering vehicles. We're not building airplanes. We're not doing anything that is really fundamentally ultra precise. For example, like 0.3% is only 3 in 1,000, right? I mean, 3 in 1,000. Any changes in that are more likely just noise. But marketing itself isn't really about precision. Sure, there's account-based marketing. There's a handful of marketing tools that, you want to get to the right person when there's maybe a small pool of decision makers. So occasionally it comes in handy. But by and large, it's not as much about precision. It's actually about saturation. Right? It's about frequency and saturation. And we do this with education. We do this with content. In an age of social media and digital, yes, it's important to get to the right audience. You want somebody who is going to buy your product or service. But if you look at every single ad and you obsess over every ad and how this ad compares to that ad, how this audience compares to that audience, at some point you get majorly diminishing returns. There's not the value there that there was before because we're focusing too much on precision. In fact, if I had to choose one or the other, I would take saturation over precision every time. You want to saturate the market with your brand. Especially so if you're in the business to consumer space, you want to be everywhere. You want celebrities wearing your product. You want an active social media following. You want a great paid campaign. You want to be on search. You want to be everywhere. With business to business, B2B, you want to saturate with education. If you're B2B, you should know more about your market than almost anybody else, right? If you build software, you should know more about building software than anybody else. If you're in manufacturing, you should know more about those topics than anybody else. And so you need to educate. Right? You need to become a teacher and you need to saturate the market with content, things of value. Yes, being there is great. Advertising is great. Being top of the results for search, but saturate it with content. And if you look at the people who are really killing it in the business space right now on social media, they're people like Gary Vaynerchuk, right? If you're in marketing, you already know about it. Look what he's doing. He's saturating the market. He's saturating the market with his brand. They have a daily vlog. He has emails. He has Instagram stories and Snapchat stories, and he's active on Facebook. He's active everywhere. Everywhere you go, if you are in business, you find Gary V. Same with Grant Cardone, right? And his 10X brand is everywhere. YouTube, Snapchat, social media, Instagram, email. I mean, you name it, he's on that channel. Those guys are two of the best and they are saturating that channel. For you, your audience might be much smaller. Maybe it's a geographic area. Right? Maybe it's just, a certain geographic area, maybe 10 miles, maybe 100 miles, maybe a city, whatever it is. Maybe it's a certain audience. Maybe it's a human resources audience, or maybe it's a veteran. Maybe you sell gear to veterans, a veteran audience. I don't know what your audience is, but if you want to appeal to that audience, it's not as much about precision. It's about saturation. And the other thing is social media is wired to help you with saturation, especially on Instagram, right? If the more people are engaging with your content, sharing it, commenting on it, liking it, the more likely you are to show up. Same with YouTube. YouTube wants people to spend time. They want people to spend money on YouTube. So the longer or the more engaged people are with your content on YouTube, the easier it is to begin saturating. Right. So whether it's education, whether it's entertainment, the fact is it's all about saturation. Case in point, even Russell Brunson, the name might be familiar to you. He runs a company called ClickFunnels. Basically, it's software that allows you to build sales funnels. We use it here at Analytiv. I highly recommend many of his books and videos to customers and our clients. I've read them. I have our team read them. I love his stuff. He's very good at what he does. But he saturates the market, right? He talks on one hand about funnels and how important they are and how great funnels are. And first of all, I totally agree. I love what he has to say. But if you actually look at what he's doing, it's not about just putting out a handful of ads and pointing them to a landing page. He is saturating the market with his message, with his brand. Everywhere you go, if you are into sales funnels, you see Russell Brunson. They have Facebook groups. They have retargeting ads. He has books that he's released that are on Amazon. He has videos. He produces a daily, I think it's daily, maybe it's weekly podcast. He also does video ads on Facebook where he lights a book on fire. He's doing webinars. He has a bunch of sub-brands underneath the ClickFunnels brand and his own brand. He's doing podcasts, downloads, emails, social. If you look at the people who are successful, it's not about precision, right? Precision can help. If you can get to precision, that's great. But saturation is going to beat precision every time. Your goal should be market saturation. Right. And in the age of social media, in the old days, you had to pay for that, and you still have to pay for it to a certain extent. But in the age of social media, it's now easier than ever, and you can actually spend less than ever and get great results if you're willing to put the time and put the effort in. So saturation always beats precision. This is Tyler, and you're listening to the Analytiv Podcast.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.